Hi, I'm Cherubin, and I'm going to be reading from my debut novel, The Orphan's Daughter, published by the Sager Group. In this section, one of the two narrators, Clyde Aronson, the orphan in the title, is looking back on his years in the Hebrew National Orphan Home. Was the orphanage so bad? Yes and no. You can get used to anything. Beatings, marching, always marching, the aching loneliness, no mama to tuck you in at night. But there were plenty of good things too. Friends, boy did we have friends, never in short supply. Some who would lay down their lives for you, no shit. That's big. I learned to appreciate smaller things too. The warmth of the sun after a freezing dawn, a piece of meat mistakenly left on a platter, candy when we could get it. How we worshipped candy, slobbered over it, slurped it down, were sick from it. Orphan smack, we had to have it. Drowned our sorrows in Mars bars and goo-goo clusters, walnettos and chuckles and neckos. An occasional Charlotte Russe handed out by the ladies' auxiliaries of White Plains and Bronxville. We got things a poor kid couldn't get living with relatives. For instance, every Wednesday night in the old gym we saw movies. Of course, we froze our asses off sitting on the concrete floor with the cold seeping into our bones, trying to see the title cards. This was before talkies. We saw The Hunchback of Notre Dame with Lon Chaney, Sherlock Holmes with John Barrymore, all kinds of stuff. Sometimes senior boys from the dramatics club came downstairs to Company E at bedtime and retold the plot of a movie or read to us. I wanted to do that when I got older, tell stories to the younger kids. I thought for sure I'd be back with my mother in the Bronx by then, but I'd visit and read to the little guys, for charity. Not long after I first got to the home, a senior named Artie Klein started reading David Copperfield to Company E. I remember we were at the part where David Copperfield's cruel stepfather sends Davy away to boarding school. Chick held the flashlight over Artie's shoulder, and Artie read. The rest of the half year is a jumble in my recollection of the daily strife and struggle of our lives, of the frosty mornings when we were wrung out of bed, and the cold, cold smell of the dark nights when we were wrung into bed again, of the morning schoolroom, which was nothing but a great shivering machine, of canings, rulerings, hair cuttings, rainy Sundays, and a dirty atmosphere of ink surrounding all. The room stayed hushed for moments after Artie closed the book and put out the flashlight. Who wrote that? A little voice called out in the dark. It was Schmecky. Charles Dickens, said Artie. Is he in Company A or B? Neither. C or D? Dickens never lived at the HNOH, said Artie. Then how did he know so much about it, said Schmecky. The older boys howled with laughter. Quiet, somebody yelled from the end of the row. I'm trying to get some shut-eye. I kept David Copperfield in my head as I marched through the tar-smelling corridors of the old brick building. I had a mother, and so did Davy. My mother was forced to send me away, like Davy's mother was forced to send him away. But he loved her all the same.